The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. After leaving the mountain, Jesus and his disciples went on from there and passed through Galilee. He did not want anyone to know it, for he was teaching his disciples, saying to them, "The Son of Man is to be betrayed into the hands of men, and they will kill him. And 3 days after being killed, he will rise again." But they did not understand what he was saying and were afraid to ask him. Then they came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, Jesus asked them, "What were you arguing about on the way?" But they were silent, for on the way they had argued with one another who was the greatest. Jesus sat down, called the 12, and said to them, "Whoever wants to be first must be the last of all and the servant of all." And then he took a little child and put it among them. And taking it in his arms, he said to them, "Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me welcomes not me, but the one who sent me." The Gospel of the Lord. Our reading from the book of Wisdom speaks in a general way about any righteous servant of God, but some parts of it seem to strike so well with the impassioned accounts of Jesus. Let us see what will happen at the end of his life. If the righteous one is God's Son, God will help him and deliver him from the hands of his adversaries. Let us test him with insult and torture, so we will see how gentle he really is and make a trial of his forbearance. Let us condemn him to a shameful death, for according to what he says, he will be protected. In our letter from James, he speaks of the wisdom of God. That should be something that all of us are constantly seeking and praying for in our lives. Wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable. It's gentle. It's willing to yield. It's full of mercy and good fruits. It's without any trace of partiality or hypocrisy. A harvest of righteousness is sown in peace for those who make peace. And finally, in our gospel, we now hear the second time that Jesus makes a prediction of his upcoming passion and death. And just like the first time, which we heard just last week, in the second time, it's obvious his disciples aren't really paying much attention to him. They're not really letting it soak in what he's talking about. Because what they're doing is fighting among themselves over which one of them is more important. And so Jesus, probably aware of this, gathers them all together and he tells them, if you want to be first, the way to do it is to be the last of all and to be the servant of all. And then to show them, he takes the little child that he holds in his arms and speaks, this child who would have been considered least in its society, this is the one who is first. And then he goes even further. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name is also welcoming me. And whoever welcomes me welcomes also the one who sent me.